Hey everybody, I want to welcome you back to Desert Sky Mystic. Today we are going to be doing our love and relationship reading for Libra for August of 2022. This is what I've been calling kind of like a 3-in-1 format. So we have 3 different readings within this video. The first one is for those of you that are in a relationship. The second one are for those of you that want to be in a relationship and are looking for love. And then the last one are for those of you that are either recently out, on your way out, but kind of on the back end, moving away from a relationship. Let's see here. These are general readings, so they may not apply to you, but if they do, if that resonates with you, any of these, please like the video. It really helps us know which messages land and which ones have not. So thank you in advance for that. So let's go on and get our overhead cam fired up. There we go. And let's see what the month of August has in store for Libra. All right, so this one is for all of our Libras that are in a current relationship, that want to be in a relationship and are looking for one right now, or want to be looking for one in the near future. And this one's for all of our friends that are on the way out or moving away from a relationship. Okay, let's see here. The giraffe spirit, see the big picture. So what pops in almost immediately is the idea of almost like not nitpicking. And I don't know if this is a you deal. I don't know if this is your partner deal, but there seems to be like a real sense of like kind of nitpicking, getting hung up on the details. What's that book? Don't sweat the small stuff. That type of energy. And I think that what oftentimes happens, we get so caught up in this stuff that we do lose sight of the bigger picture, the reasons that we are together and things along those lines, that we can make each other's lives miserable with the nitpicking. So I think that in this particular scenario, I just keep getting that over and over. Don't nitpick. See the big picture. There's more important things. Don't get hung up on the small stuff. Let's take a look at some clarification cards here and see what these add to this. I'll be curious to see here. Yeah. Okay, so these always play out a little differently for me, even their position sometimes. In this particular one, I get very much the sense that there's one person who is flighty, really kind of free, doesn't let a lot of things bother them. I'm not sure which one of you this is, and looks to the other person as if they can be just kind of a mess, maybe forgets things, not the greatest with appointments or schedules and all that type of stuff. And then we have the other person that is really kind of needs to control everything. And, it's funny because the person that's controlling everything oftentimes sees a need to like nothing would ever get done unless they do it. But at the same time, they have that need for control. So there's no way that anybody else could do it and then be happy. So what's funny about this is a lot of times this type of combination actually works well together, because this person that has that control, that gets irritated because other people aren't looking at the same ways and not get caught up on the details near as much. What's funny is a lot of times if they weren't allowed to do that, they would be absolutely miserable. So that factor, that control, that need to grasp everything, to hold on to everything, to know everything, if it was taken out of their hands, they'd be more miserable than what they think they are when other people are failing their idea of what should and shouldn't happen in that relationship. And kind of on the reverse end, this other person's in order for them to kind of, I don't want to say survive this relationship, but to a certain degree, in order for them to exist in this relationship, they almost have to be flighty, because if they let everything get to them, if they let all of this person's like nitpicking and control and needing things to happen in a certain way and leaving here and going this route and taking this turn, if they let that stuff bother them, it would drive them absolutely insane. So this person almost needs to be with this type of person. You put two control people together, what kind of disaster would that be? That wouldn't last 2 minutes. I mean, you'd be fighting over everything because both of them would have their own way of doing things, and both way would be right, and they wouldn't be able to see, how you can get things done in different kind of ways. It would just be an absolute disaster. So this is actually funny to me because it's almost like the perfect pairing. I do think though that the way this has come out is that this is maybe there is a balance here. There has to be a balance. You can't go too far one way or the other. I mean, just think it through. Obviously, that would be, I don't even need to really give you examples. You take either one of these components, personality traits to the extreme, it would be a disaster within itself. So there does need to be a balance. And I do feel like this one is a little heavier at this point in time, that, this card is coming in to say, hey, you know, we get it. We honor that. We respect that. It's who you are. You need to be who you are, but you need to understand that this can go too far, and it's time to find that new balance as you move forward in this relationship, because it is creating an issue. It is causing some strain at this point in time. Let's take a look at the advice cards though, and see what ends up happening here, or what it can add to the information that we're getting. An unfair judgment. Yeah, I mean, that's perfect. And to be quite honest with you, well, I mean, this can actually come from either way. I think both components have to be very careful here, because I think both sides of this perspective and point of view are very legitimate and very valid. And I think both of you can point the fingers at each other and make some judgments about each other that aren't really fair, because here's the deal. If this person were to be left to their devices, it's likely a lot of stuff would get dropped. A lot of things would get messed up. Some bills maybe wouldn't get paid, maybe the vacations wouldn't be as fun. That lightheartedness, if you're not taking care of business, that comes with a cost, and vice versa. I mean, if this person gets too controlling, controls everything, they can really strangle out the life and of a situation. They can overdo this. I mean, you don't have to control every single component of it, but I think there's legitimate things that each of these personality traits can point at each other. But the point is that you need each other. You balance each other out. You need trust. This person that's in this realm needs somebody to take care of this stuff. They take care of the details to handle this stuff, because they're really a very real need of it. And then the vice versa. This person needs to see that not everything is as equally important. There are some things that's just not as big of a deal. There are some things that you should just be letting go, that you put too much energy into, that you don't have to nitpick, that it is a drain on you. And then if you focus on all the things that don't matter, then the things that do matter suffer. And I think that's a lesson that you guys contribute to each other. And that's why I think it's such a great balance. So just be cautious that the balance is needed. I think you're going a little heavy right now on the control side of things, but I also think that goes back and forth. So as long as you're aware of it, as long as you try to keep yourself in check, both sides of you try to keep yourself in check, I think you guys are very, very good for each other. And I think this has the potential to go the distance in terms of the way that you interact. I think you're a match made in heaven, to be quite honest with you. Let's see here. Let's take a look at all my Libra friends that are currently looking for love, looking for a relationship, wanting to be with somebody. Panther spirit, reclaim your power. Right out of the gate, I really get the sense here that this is something to where, in relationships in the past, you've kind of just, I don't like to use the word submissive, but you've submitted to your partner more than you should have. And that's caused problems. That's caused confidence problems. That's caused esteem problems. That's caused issues in the relationship, which is why you are probably not in a relationship at this point in time, as this has contributed to that for sure. I think that's lessons that you need to learn. And I think that those experiences have provided the groundwork for that. I think that is a lesson you still need to learn, or at the very least, you need to take what you have learned and now apply it and reclaim your power and understand that you are an individual and that you should have some standards. You should know what you're looking for. You should have some top two, three, four, five things that are absolutely no budge, no if, and, but components that you have in this next relationship. Whether that be, whatever that is. I mean, be treated with respect. Will not, will be no like manipulation type stuff. There will be no, I mean, an extreme example is this person will not hit me. I mean, no ifs, ands, and buts. If I see that coming, if I see any hint of that coming, we're done. I'm leaving. You won't even get a chance to. That type of drawing that line in the sand, that reclaiming your power. Now that's an extreme example, but hey, that's a great, perfect illustration. I think that translates well into anything that we should do. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have 300 things, and if they don't match up to all 300 things and not the right fit, find the things that are actually important, and then let the rest just kind of work themselves out. So let's see what kind of, having said that, let's see what kind of clarification cards we have coming up. Let's see what we're going. Yeah. So, yeah, I actually think I think that whole submission analogy is actually probably pretty right on the way that I'm reading this. I mean, we get the suppression card, which is a tough card. We got this big pillar of stone coming down on this person. They're tied down with the ropes. The walls are cracking. There's nowhere for them to go. They feel helpless, and that's really a lot of what I'm talking about when it comes to reclaiming your power is these past relationships have put you in this, and you've let that happen by staying in those relationships. I'm not victim blaming at all. You're not a victim. You made a choice, and and I would imagine that you made that choice with the best intentions and the highest hopes for that relationship. But regardless, this is where that relationship ended. Now, the good thing is that you got out of that. That's awesome. It's amazing. You recognize that for what that was. I think you learned those lessons. You did find your strength, and it was scary for you though. And it really was a leap of faith. You trusted in yourself. You recognized that this wasn't right for you, that you needed to move on from this. And despite all of the doubts and the fears and the scariness of that type of move, you busted all out of this. And that does take strength, and you need to recognize that strength. That's why it's telling you reclaim your power, because you are strong. The difference is you should be strong on the front end and make sure that this type of situation never even has a chance to happen again. And when you do get there, and perhaps you are already there, but when you do get there, what you are going to find is that the people that come to you, that you attract, are going to be the type of people that would never put you here in the first place. It's only when our energies are all out of whack do we attract those type of people that are willing to do this to us, are willing to abuse us, are willing to put those types of things on us. When we are balanced, when we're aligned, and we have our power, and we're in a healthy spot, we attract people that are also in a healthy spot. So that's kind of the dirty little secret. The trick to all of this is work on yourself first, because that's who you can control. That's where you can make the most progress on. And when you do that, we bring in the type of stuff that we want. But again, very strong to pull out of this, very strong to jump and make that leap of faith. I'm not saying you're a weak person at all. I'm saying that you have power, and it's time to reclaim it on the front end so that you can avoid this altogether. And I think you will. I think that this type of stuff, I think you're done with it, tired of it, because it takes a lot of strength and a lot of hurt and a lot of emotion to push yourself out of this. And I don't think you are going to allow yourself to get back into that position again. I think you will reclaim your power. But I would say that until you feel that, I wouldn't step into a new relationship. I would be too afraid of what I was attracting. Because the thing is, the type of people that do this type of stuff to us, they're good. They're so manipulative. The narcissists are so damn good at that. and they trick you, they lie, they uh, they give you a false sense of things. So when you are in your power, those people aren't going to come. They are scared of confidence. It pushes them away. I mean, they're scared of confidence. They're scared of powerful, balanced people, and they just run. They don't even come. They recognize it. They recognize on an energy level. They'll get nowhere near you. So that's why it's so important. So let's take a look here real quick at our um, advice card. See what it has to say. Love your inner child. It's perfect. Perfect. I mean, not that I even have to explain this anymore, but this is about getting back to you, who you are. This again, reclaiming your power, knowing who you are, being confident in who you are, having a stable ground which you stand on. When this happens, you won't have to worry about being strong in this type of way because you're not even going to have to deal with those type of situations. You're going to bring somebody in that treats you the way that you deserve to be treated. It's as simple as that. So very powerful. I love this reading for you for the month of August, Libra. Perfect. All right, let's move on. Let's jump over here to our friends that are actually on their way out of a relationship. Although it looks like this was kind of a one that was a tough one to get out of. It looks like you're definitely heading in the right direction, though, for your next relationship. So let's look at the folks that are just now moving away from the relationship. Time to heal. I mean, okay, I'll talk, but what more can I really say? Time to heal. I mean, what better card could you have of coming out of a relationship? Because the bottom line is coming out of any relationship, again, whether you initiated, whether they initiated it, whatever that is, whether you didn't want to be out of it, and let's just say that one person got relocated and you really didn't want to end the relationship, but one person couldn't move, whatever that is, there's pain, there's emotion, there's an imbalance of energies. You need to heal, right? I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing card coming out of there. So take this to heart. It's time to heal. Let's look at some clarification cards here and see if we can get some more details on what that looks like or what's going on. Yeah, really, really like that. Okay, first and foremost, the healing. I think what this is really speaking to here is first and foremost, it wants you to rely on the people that are around you. You have a safety net of people. You have people that love you. You have friends. You have family that know you, that you can trust. You may not be seeing things so clearly right now. Oftentimes we don't when we're in a highly charged state, emotional state. If that is you right now and your friends are saying something to you, heed their advice. Understand that they are trying to give you a point of view from a place of love. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to agree with it, but consider it and trust it, because right now I think you're going to need that. The good thing about this, though, is that whatever this is, I don't think this is going to be like this. Even if this is like a tough breakup or whatever, I get the feeling that you get a hold of this pretty quickly. And the reason I say that is because we have the creator card here. And the creator card, this card actually ties to another card. And this is basically an energy ball. It's a new inspiration, it's a new power, it's a new source, a new. I get the sense that you really get a hold of yourself here very quickly. That you have a very mature outlook on this. Maybe you have some experiences in doing this. But another thing that I know this is, I mean, just reading intuitively, one thing I find extremely interesting is that this energy ball is right about the place where the sacral chakra is, and that is and even kind of has a yellowish orange tint to it as well. But that's right where kind of the emotions are held within the energy body as well. So I really get the sense that it is time to heal, that you have a great support system, and that you know how to do this. I mean, you're going to do this with grace. I mean, you're going to get a hold of this and you're going to allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. You understand that it was time for this relationship to end, whatever the actual situation was. It was a good thing. It was the right time. It was time to move on. And so you have a very mature outlook on this, and you have a good grasp over your emotions on this as well. Not that you don't have emotions, and not that you're not feeling. It's just you're holding them in check. And I mean that, like a lot of times when we're hurting and somebody tries to talk to us and maybe they say something that we don't want to hear, even if it is true, sometimes we lash out at those people that we love. You're not doing any of that at all. You have a really good control and grasp over your emotions. Let's take a look at the advice card. Really curious to kind of see what that says. I mean, for a reading that is about the ending of a relationship, which this obviously is never kind of like a positive or a happy thing. But overall, this seems like the out of all of them I've done so far, this seems like one of the healthiest ways to move away from a relationship, Libra. So if this resonates for you, wow, I wish I had this type of grasp over myself. Let's take a look at my emotions, especially. Let's take a look here, though. Advice from a cat. That's funny. Okay, so the advice of the cat, is really, I think this is kind of more of I always look at this as kind of a warning card. And advice from a cat. Cats, they're secretive. They're sneaky. I love cats, by the way. I am a cat person. But they are secretive. They give you love when they want love. It's all about them. You only exist to serve them. This is a cautionary deal, and I don't think you are actually going to slip into this, but I think it's really kind of saying, watch out for this type of behavior. Don't slip into this closed off behavior. Don't get sneaky. Don't do if this was a person, don't fall into that trap of like spying on them or whatever, some of the stupid stuff we do at the end of relationships. Don't fall into the negative components of this and really rely back on your friends here. Stay opened up. Don't close off, because staying opened up is going to allow you to keep control of your emotions and look at this in a very healthy way. So again, a cautionary card. I think it's actually a nice way to kind of end this relationship. Everything is so positive in terms of a negative situation. Everything's moving in a very positive direction in terms of the way that you're handling is very admirable. And there's this last little thing that says, yeah, but always be aware that we can always slip into this really quickly. So just keep that in front of your mind, because if we think about it, if it's front of our mind, if it's in our, if it's like the old saying, out of sight, out of mind. If it's in sight, it'll stay in front of your mind, and you can catch yourself before you find yourself doing something stupid in this. But I don't think that's going to be you this month, Libra. Okay, so that's what I got. Hey, overall, great readings. Very interesting across the board for in the month of August, Libra. So if this resonates with you, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really helps us know what messages are landing and which ones are not. And of course, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to help or have you, and it helps us out a lot. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, and thank you in advance for that as well. Okay, so again, thank you for watching today, Libra. We really appreciate it. And that is all I have. So we will just see you next time.